Stewart. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good, awesome. Thank you so much for meeting with me today to talk about Tails and how it's our record of the month for Waxx Lyrical this month. How are you feeling about the 10-year anniversary of Tails?
Old, but
Okay.
yeah, it doesn't feel like 10 years, which um, yeah, I guess is a good thing. It's good that I'm here talking to you about it 10 years later.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah,
Totally. Well, because it's our record of the month, like I'm a huge fan anyway, but I've been listening to it a lot more lately. And
yep,
I feel like it just stands up so well, like some albums really don't date as well, but it just sounds
yep.
as fresh now. And Joy as well, both of them just sound as fresh now as when they first came out. But I read somewhere online that Tales was supposed to be the last album that you made together. Why was that?
Yeah, very lucky it even got made, really.
Yeah.
We'd done the Modern Professional EP, and then we toured off the back of that as much as we could, and like we're doing all right in Melbourne, like crowd wise and stuff, but we are sort of feeling a bit deflated going interstate. We hit that like Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide pretty hard, and we we had a little cult following, but just sort of enough to sort of not really break even off
Yeah,
it. So we're
right.
sort of questioning whether to keep going or not.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that we knew were applying for arts grants at the time. So we thought we might as well give it a crack. If we get the arts grant, then yeah, we'll go and book studio time and try and make an album. If not, then we'll take 6 months off or whatever and then reconvene and maybe not take the band so seriously or
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
but
right.
yeah, we got the government grant and booked studio time and yeah, thought, all right,
Cool.
we've got to write and record an album.
Yeah, right. So
So,
you made Tales with a Grant.
yeah, yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, that's cool. Well,
Yeah,
thanks, Australian government, for
very fun.
facilitating an amazing record. Do you feel like thinking that it might be kind of the last album that you made together, do you think that kind of influenced how it was made?
No, I don't think so. I think we were just trying to get it made.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, like we sort of set ourselves a deadline,
Yeah.
and like I think yeah, we were about 3 months. I think we booked Sing Sing Studio. We're like, all right, we've got to get cracking, start writing,
Yeah.
and we really struggled at first, and then one weekend we come up with Big Fish and Carol sort of around the same weekend, same time, and that kind of set the benchmark for the rest of the album. I think. Yeah, so it's about a month out. I think we had that. And we always had Don't You Love Me, Joan. I think it was floating around that sort of idea, that bass and the repetitive bass line and yeah, the motor Rick sort of kraut rocky sort of vibe would sort of jammed on for a while. But
Yeah.
yeah, sort of a month out, we sort of were struggling a bit. And then I think we were being a bit picky with what we wanted to do. We're throwing out a lot of ideas. We had ideas, but yeah, throwing out, just being a bit picky with that. But by the last month, we sort of just had to like, all right, try and work ideas and make it happen.
Yeah.
That's yeah,
There's nothing like a bit of time pressure to ramp up
yeah.
productivity. Do you write the songs as a
Sorry,
band?
well, yeah. A lot of it comes out of jams. Like, well, maybe sometimes one of us might bring an idea, but most of it does come out of just us three in a room just throwing ideas out and or just spontaneously jamming and then that might lead to something. You know, I have a 15-minute jam, but 2 minutes of it might be the song idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, around that time we're always recording. We always had like recording gigs. Just make sure we're recording all the time just to capture yeah that little idea that yeah that was in that sort of jam that was like oh that's something we can base a song around.
I did read an interview with you about a
Is that
Hotham gig that you did many years ago. I think it was like the first gig that you
yeah,
did with the band.
yes it was yeah my band had broken up, the band that I was in. And I think the next day or the same day, Blake called me, like just coincidentally, just said, "Oh, I need a bass player." So he sent me a copy of the first album. I learnt it, and then a week later, I was up in Mount Hoff and yeah, playing my first gig with Peep Tempel. Yeah, sort of just before the first album came out. It might have been 2011. Yeah, it was a wild time.
I think in that interview you said something about that they just started improvising on stage and that you
Ah,
were
yes,
kind of like, oh damn, like I gotta I
yeah,
gotta
it's
keep on my
always
toes with these guys.
yeah, been a big part of the show, especially if Blake breaks a guitar string or something. It's kind of right. Well, we can't just stand here and the crowd just watch us change the guitar string. We've got to sort of keep it entertaining and and we
Totally.
sort of us sort of to become part of the show. And we have like certain parts and songs where we'd jam out because we had like the first album, which I think was half an hour long, but if you got to do a 45-minute set or something, you've got to try and stretch that out a bit. So yeah,
Yeah,
improvise.
totally.
Yeah. It was sort of our go-to yeah trick to stretch those gigs out a bit longer. And
Yeah,
Blake's
no.
very good at living and stuff like that, so he's good at making lyrics up on the spot and
Ah, cool. Got like a bit of a hip hop hip hop flavor
yeah,
there. Being able to just pull it out of nowhere. I remember
yeah.
seeing one of your shows that you did. You did a free show at the Northern, like in Byron Bay. It was, I reckon, around
Uh,
2017 or something, 18. But yeah, I just remember feeling like I had been assaulted. Like the energy at that show was just incredible. And I feel like that's really captured super well in your albums, which doesn't always happen with really kind of high energy, like relentless punk.
yeah,
So I wondered like yeah, do you have any kind of production tricks or like ways that you really are able to capture that on your records?
we record the basic tracks, definitely drums and bass live, and there'll be like a guide guitar track, but that's what we sort of try and get the vibe down, like bass and drums. There's no overdubs there. It's all just one take, or we do several takes or whatever, pick the best take, and yeah, which has the best vibe in it. Yeah, that's all it really is, really. Just
Yeah.
record live. Yeah, and yeah, sort of polish it afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I feel like you really nailed that.
Nasty.
A really notable thing about the Peep Temple's music is the lyrics. Like that is something that's kind of super unique and unusual. Do you write the lyrics as a band?
No, definitely not. Blake's the lyric man.
Yeah,
Like, as I said, we sort of a lot of the stuff come out of jamming. So
yeah,
he will sort of ad lib, sort of will throw, just make stuff up on the spot as we're jamming. If we've got a song idea, and out of that, he'll like catch on to something, like it might be, like I'm a real big fish or something like that. Be all right, that's the hook. I can
yeah.
base the song off that.
Do you ever like meet people when you're out and you're like, oh, I just met this girl called Carol and I feel like she'd be great in a in a song? Like, are they based on real people or
I don't think so, no. I
no,
hope not, but
they're just characters?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
pretty sure.
cool.
As far as I know,
Very,
they're all.
yeah. Well, maybe loosely based on real people, just ch their names have been changed.
Possibly.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask you about your vinyl collection because I know that everyone in our club is really excited about your album being our record of the month. And so, yeah, what's your personal relationship with vinyl? Do you have a vinyl collection at all?
Yeah, I do. I have a lot of records.
Oh, yeah? Cool.
Yeah, well, I cataloged them all during the lockdown and stuff, so I've kept that up and definitely over 1,000 at the moment. So yeah,
That's, that's pretty
it's
tidy.
it's when I got to move house, it's a pain, but yeah, totally worth it
Yeah, it's
though.
totally, totally. What you see behind me is kind of a fraction of what's in our lounge room. I think there's about 3,000 here. So, yeah, I hear you
Yeah,
on the pain of moving that many records.
yeah, not light.
Exactly. Yeah, do you have any favorites in your collection? Any kind of notable favorites?
At the moment. Uh, Recently I scored a copy, Jesus Mary Chain Darklands,
Oh
which
yeah.
I've been after that because some reason I don't know why they haven't reissued any of their earlier stuff, but yeah, I finally got a copy of that, and yeah, I've been loving that to death. It's been on my list for a very long time. So it's
Yeah.
that. Recently, the first two A-Frames albums, which I really liked, band from Seattle from the early 2000s. Got
Okay.
a
I haven't heard of them. I'll have to check it
post-punky
out.
band. Yeah, always usually down at Strange World in Fitzroy North there to go see Richie Ramone. Usually he's turning me on to good things when sort of feel the need to buy a record. Yeah, it might be Friday night after work or something. You want to have a beer and listen to something new. You'll usually hook me up with something that's I've never heard of. And it's out there like the band, the Retail Simps that I've been loving at the moment. They're on a Total Punk Records. They're
Okay.
from the state. They're a Canadian band, but they um kind of do Velvet Undergroundy punk music. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, really dig
With your bass, how
it.
long have you been playing the bass for?
A very long time.
Yeah, to be able to like kind of jam along with everyone. Everyone in the band
Yeah,
must be pretty incredible at their craft.
say maybe 30 years, maybe.
Yeah, damn. Who got you into it?
Um, my music teacher, because everyone was playing guitar at the time, and I wanted to play guitar as well. And he's like, well, he's trying to put together like a primary school band. And he's like, well, I've already got two guitar players. How about do you want to join the year 6 rock band or whatever it was? I can you can play bass. I was like, all right. And then I've just been a bass player ever since.
Yeah,
And yeah, my
amazing.
same as when I went to high school, and yeah, there wasn't any bass players, so I was just ended up playing in the year 7 band up to the VCE rock band and stuff like that. That sort of cut my chops as a 12, 13-year old, and yeah, been doing it since.
And so who
Yeah,
are your kind of major influences as a bass player?
that's a good question. Um, Really, I love Steve Hanley from The Fall. Is
Okay.
right up there.
Yeah.
In The Fall for about 19 years, probably one of the longest members that ever were in that band, apart from Keith Smith.
Yeah.
Um, I love Joe Laley from the Fugazi as well as like Lemmy from Motorhead and Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath. Is
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Geezer Butler has this sort of funky way of playing metal. I don't know. He's amazing.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
was listening to you, I was kind of thinking about Dave Allen from Gang of Four.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of can hear a bit of influence in there.
Yeah. And like, I have no idea who the bass player in Wire is, but the Wire was always sort of a bit of an influence on the Peep Temple, especially the first album.
Is
That's
that
we used
Pink
to listen to.
Flag or?
Yeah, Pink
Yeah,
Flag
yeah,
and
yeah.
as well. Yeah, we loved a lot. Yeah, but,
Yeah, cool.
yeah, yeah.
What's the weirdest feedback you've ever received about your music?
I remember I don't know what it was, but I remember when we first put Carol out, and that was the first single that we got and released off the album, and we were sort of a bit nervous about putting Tails out because it was such a different. We wrote it and recorded it so quickly, and we sort of questioning whether we liked it or whether it was good because it's pretty out there album. I had to listen to it today before this interview, just sort of going, yeah, this is I get it. Like it's quite unique in its own thing. So we put out Carol, and yeah, the first review we got was scathing. Like,
Really?
and
So
we was like, all
short-sighted.
right, yeah, yeah, it was bizarre. I can't remember what the review said, but yeah, it was bagging on this whole Australiana kind of. slang and all that. And we were kind of a bit very deflated after that. We didn't have, we thought, well,
Oh no.
we had a crack and we might be done here. So yeah. But fortunately, no, everyone else caught onto it and got it. And yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. Well, I'm glad it was only that first naysayer that yeah, it didn't discourage the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone else got it for sure. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our Wax Lyrical record members?
Um, well, I hope you enjoy Tales. Especially those people that have never heard the album or heard of the band before. It's best listened to loud on a summer's day with a cold beer.
Yeah, take a beer from
Enjoy.
the fridge, have a seat.
Take a beer